Hello everybody, my name is Austin with the Main Street Moose, and this is my beautiful wife Catherine. And today we're going to do our first of our 2 weekly shows. This one is going to be called Would You Rather Wednesday. We're going to dive into some hard topics, try to help you guys decide which one would you rather do. And if we're not correct to your standards, let us know in the comments. Tell us what we missed, tell us why we're wrong, tell us why we're right. Let us all know. And as you can see from our shirts, today is going to be focused on Disney. Since we are a Disney forward travel site, let's have a little Disney conversation.
Deal.
So, Catherine.
Yes.
Would you rather spend a week in Disneyland or Disney World?
Now, before I tell you my answer, this is a very hot topic in our household because Austin has a completely different answer than I do. Which
legitimately
completely different, and it has been a source of many fights, and sword fights mostly, but it's been some fights over this one. But I love Disneyland. I think out of all of the Disney parks, then again, we've only been to Disneyland and Disney World. We haven't been to any of the out of the country parks yet, so
not yet.
This is just between these two. But out of all of the parks, it's my favorite. Most of my memories have been made there. My most happiest memories have been made in Disneyland. And they just have so much more to offer. So my first thing that I love more about Disneyland than I do of Disney World is the location of hotels. Now, Disney World has quite a bit of Disney affiliated hotels that are actually built on Disney property. And, they've got loads.
The huge Disney property.
Yes, the Disney World property is huge, which is good and bad because it allows them to have so many parks and so many hotels. But at the same time, the non-Disney hotels are typically a little further away. So if you don't have the money to stay at a Disney World resort, you have to go outside, and then to get into the park, it's kind of a bit of a ways. At Disneyland, you've got the 3 Disneyland hotels, which is the Disneyland Resort. You've got the Grand Californian, and you've got Paradise Pier Hotel. And those are all on Disneyland's property, easy to get to. But the nice thing about Disneyland is, of course, it's a rectangle. And around that rectangle, literally across the street, hotels line every inch of that rectangle. So when we went to Disneyland a couple years ago with Austin's family, we were able to stay at one of the Marriotts that were so close to the entrance of the park. We woke up, it was a 5-minute walk to the gates. And I think that's a big deal, especially for us moms, because we got lucky and our daughter can actually fall asleep pretty darn easily in her stroller. She's been a pretty good travel buddy. And, but for some moms, babies have to go to sleep in a bed, in a quiet place, where they feel secure.
The stars have to align perfectly.
Yes.
Everything has to be great.
And I was a mom of a hard baby, so you difficult baby mamas, I feel for you. But, the nice thing is that for you to go back to your hotel, it's really not that big of a drive. It's not that big of a, you can walk.
You can walk it.
Yeah, so that's kind of the biggest plus for me, first of all, that comes to Disneyland, especially now that I'm a mom.
That's a good point. For Disney World, my most favorite one, is the variants. And it's hard to disagree with the variants.
I can agree with the variants.
There's all sorts of different parks in there. You want to go to the animal-themed Animal Kingdom over there, wonderful, great. Spend some time over there. Hop over to Epcot. You want to kind of walk around the world. You want to do some test track, whatever you want to do. It's there. There's all sorts of different variants there. And they do a pretty good job of breaking everything up.
They do.
Instead of, you don't have a lot of crossover. A lot of crossover areas. You don't have a whole, besides the Tower of Terror being painted too.
Okay,
that area in Epcot. That's different. But I like how everything's broken up. You can have different days and you can have different experiences at different parks. Whereas with Disneyland, love Disneyland, don't have a problem with it, except for the fact that you have 2 parks
Two great parks.
They're still great parks, yes. 2 options to choose from. Wherever you want to go, that's great in there. But Florida just seems like it's just this vast expanse. They have so much land. And these tons of options you can choose from on what you want to do.
And during the summer, they do have the water parks open too.
Yeah.
Which that even adds even more variance.
Blizzard Beach, Typhoon Lagoon. I'm probably missing something else.
Those are 2, aren't they?
Yep.
Okay.
That's good for my first point. Back to
me?
you for your point number 2.
Point number 2 kind of goes off that. One of the biggest problems that I have with Disney World is because they had so many different parks and they had so many different areas, which of course, as we all know, Disneyland was built first, Disney World followed, and of course they started adding their parks later on. Disney World actually Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom has more square footage in their actual Magic Kingdom than Disneyland does. Now, Disneyland, you've got to understand, it goes over both DCA and Disneyland, but also Disneyland itself is the park name too. So just in case you're confused by that, but at Walt Disney World, that you have to kind of specify which park you're going to. So Magic Kingdom is like the Disneyland of Disney World.
Yep.
So when you go to Disney World, their square footage is a lot bigger, but they actually have quite a bit less rides. And I'm talking about actual rides, not just attractions at Disney World. And so one thing that I miss, because I had been to Disneyland quite a few times before I was actually able to go to Disney World. And my first time was actually when I was married to Austin. We had a 3-month-old baby. That's a story for a different time. But my biggest issue is going there. I was missing out on some of my most favorite rides that I could find at Disneyland. Come to find out, I had to travel to a completely different park. My favorite thing about Disneyland is that things are so close. You know, when if you wanted to go to Magic Kingdom and Epcot one day, your travel time to get to Epcot is quite long. When you're at Disneyland, you can literally walk across the street. Mm-hmm. And so I do like the closeness. I do like the amount of rides that are squished into one place. I'm a ride fanatic. I don't usually like attractions as much as I like the rides. Ask Austin, I would much rather go ride a ride when a parade's going than actually watch the parade.
Yes, we're not really parade people.
His family is, I'm not, and I kind of converted him not to be an attraction person. But the nice thing about Disneyland is that you have kind of all of the iconic Disney rides in one place. And you know, especially if you have a hopper pass, it's way worth it to have a hopper pass at Disneyland. I feel like because of the closeness of the parks. It makes your travel time between parks not take away from your times in the park. Mm-hmm. So that's probably one of my biggest pros to Disneyland.
That's a good point. And I also addressed that on my blog, migratingmoose.com. That's on the Disneyland versus Disney World. I have a breakdown on each area and how many rides they have. And once again, when we talk about rides, we're not talking about,
Tiki Room.
Yeah, we're not talking about the Tiki Room. We're not talking about the Mr. Lincoln. We're talking about Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean, that kind of stuff. Those are rides, not sit down, relax, enjoy the air conditioner. So, my second point, and this is a good one. We are foodies. We love food. So, yeah, we spent
some good money.
Hundreds of dollars more than we should have on food. And this is a big deal when it comes to Walt Disney World, because you have similar food you're gonna have in Disneyland, in the Magic Kingdom, but as soon as you get to any other park, as soon as you get to Epcot, you've got all sorts of different food from the different countries. Because I'm going to talk about the poutine in Canada. Holy smokes. If you get a chance to eat the poutine in Canada, do it. We had the
beef, I think it was the beef
brisket.
It was the beer braised beef brisket poutine.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. It was wonderful.
We were so tempted because we were doing this last Christmas when we went to Disney World with his family. Our big thing was when we went to Epcot is we were going to eat around the world. So we were going to find one thing from each area and eat something from there. And I can't tell you how many times Austin and I both went, let's go back and get some more poutine.
Yeah, that was good. The fish and chips were good in England, or the UK. But the poutine was phenomenal.
Oh, so good.
So food-wise, I think Walt Disney World takes the cake.
But only because of Epcot. I feel like.
That's a big one. But then if you go to Animal Kingdom, you've got that curry dish that you got me.
That's true. They've got more kind of...
They've got just a broader spectrum of food there in Walt Disney World, but they can do that because they do have different parks broken up. That's how they can do it. Disneyland just doesn't have the ability to do all these hundreds of different dishes. It's just not feasible. So that's something that I think Walt Disney World definitely has above Disneyland is your food options.
Absolutely.
So if you're a foodie, gotta go check it out.
And shout out to Casey Jr.'s hot dog. Is it the hot dog stand or the hot dog parlor or whatever it's called? But it's called Casey Jr.'s.
Oh, Casey's Corner.
Casey's Corner. That's what it was.
Yes.
Casey Jr.'s the train.
Casey, yes.
Okay, whoops, sorry.
Wait a second.
But Casey's Corner, their mint julep. We probably had close to 10 of those.
Oh, it was so good. So
we were in Disney Magic Kingdom for like 3 days.
So Casey's Corner is this baseball themed
Hot dog,
corn dog, any sort of dog stand, and it's just in Magic Kingdom. So when you're headed down Main Street, as soon as you get to the hub, hang a left. So on your left-hand side, you're gonna see people dressed up in old,
kind of like your pinstripe look thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think they also wear baseball type looking uniforms.
Yeah, it's all baseball uniform.
It's the frozen mint julep.
Frozen mint julep, get it?
You
right
will
away.
not regret
Do that
it.
first thing.
First thing if
you can.
Yes.
Get that frozen mint julep.
Yes, absolutely.
Listen to the piano player. I forgot what his name was, but he's been there
for 40 years.
It was
something crazy.
Anyway, we're getting off topic.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Foods I love.
Yes. Okay. Now I send back to you.
Okay.
To
and
points for the
Austin's gonna go here in just a second because I'm gonna bring up probably one of the biggest differences we can find between Disney World and Disneyland, and that is the classic rides. Now, Austin, which parts of the Caribbean do you prefer?
Disneyland.
Which Haunted Mansion do you prefer?
It's Disneyland.
And which Indiana Jones ride do you? Oh wait. Oh wait. There is no Indiana Jones ride in Disney World.
Oh, just the show.
I know, but I think they got rid of the show though. The last time we went to Hollywood Studios, they didn't have the stunt show anymore.
Oh.
But I don't know. Maybe it was just closed while we were there.
Could have been down.
But Austin can tell you his absolute most favorite smell, and maybe for one of our Thingamabob Thursdays, we'll have to bring out your candle. But
a little teaser there.
The smell of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride is Austin's favorite smell.
It is. It's that bromine mixed with the food they have serving there in the Blue Bayou restaurant. Just.
Yep. And so he's got a candle that smells exactly like it, and he loves it. He dreams of it. But at Disney World, they don't have that smell. And the ride sequence is different, I feel like.
Yeah, and it's shorter.
It is shorter.
Disney World is shorter. And I got the bromine smell just a little bit in Disney World, but that's when I went already down around. That's when the fight started between the ship and the city. That's when I smelt it.
But Austin can smell it right when he walks in the door in Disneyland.
Oh, man. In Disneyland, when you walk in there, as soon as you pass the old Tarzan treehouse. No, it's Tarzan treehouse now.
It's the moment you get into the doors.
Some little waft guides me. I float in a dreamlike state.
I have to tie him to a rope to keep him with me. But anyways, also with Pirates of the Caribbean, obviously, and Indiana Jones. I love Indiana Jones. I love thrill rides. I'm a thrill ride seeker, and that's one of the few rides. Austin gets very motion sickness, and so once our kids grow up, I'm probably gonna be the fun parent. But it's one of the few kind of more extreme rides that Austin can ride and not get incapacitated because he doesn't feel good. So I love riding that one. It's such a fun one. It's got such a fun just ride sequence to it. And I remember going to Disney World and I'm like, okay, all I want to do is ride Indiana Jones. And everyone's like, oh, Catherine, they don't have one here.
Yeah, sorry. That's taken up by a huge Jungle Cruise.
That's what it was.
Nothing wrong with Jungle Cruise.
Oh, we love Jungle Cruise.
We love that little bonus section.
Yes. But also, Haunted Mansion. It's the original Haunted Mansion.
It is.
And that's the problem, is all of these rides were the original rides, and there's something about the originality that just gets your little heart fluttering.
Yes.
Back to you.
My final ending point for Walt Disney World is going to be the transformative depth
Oh, wow.
that they put into the areas in their worlds. And hang on, when I'm saying this, it's kind of hard to think about until you realize what's going on. But when you go to Animal Kingdom,
Okay.
right, it's wonderful, it's great. You walk in there, they have their sight lines, so you can't see the outside world. Everything's wonderful. You're going this little area. And then you go to Pandora.
Okay, Pandora was
was
amazing.
freaking sweet. Especially at night. Go at night
Oh.
too, because everything lights up, glows in the dark.
It
Anyways,
was amazing.
but the amount of attention to detail that they put in that is just astounding. And then from there you leave and you go the secret back doorway out under the bridge, and you end up in Africa, this town they called Harambe, I don't know. And you're then transformed into this African town, and
They've got like
everything's-
power lines hanging.
Yeah, things are a
It's
little
just-
crazy. They've got corrugated metal that's starting to rust. They've got plaster up on buildings that's fallen off. Paint's been faded. Everything is wonderful. The ground is uneven. Everything's pretty good. And then you go over to India, and then you've got the Everest section of India, and it's just a whole new world.
I mean, it is newer.
Yeah, it is newer. So
They're
that
newer
they
parks.
could do these things with that park is just crazy. But the attention to detail in those parks is fantastic.
I can get you there.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other retort?
I
Or
don't
is that
think
good
so.
for now?
I think we'll stick with 3.
Okay.
But I love Disneyland,
I love Disney World.
and there'll always be a fight which one we'll go to.
Let us know in the comments, like I said, if we missed anything, if we were wrong on something, if we were right on something struck a nerve, made you so angry. Go for it, keyboard warriors. Let us know. And make sure you definitely subscribe, because like I said before, this is a weekly showing, Would You Rather Wednesday. And then tomorrow we're going to have our Thingamabob Thursday, where we do product reviews. So make sure you are subscribed to our channel.
Yeah. Follow him on Instagram at the.migrating.moose, because we'll also post the links there, and he'll share a lot of our fun travel pictures and fun places to
Absolutely.
go.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.